I think that you need to give the youth some opportunity, because when there's no opportunity, that's when they end up turning to crime, and then they start following these dons and various area leaders. Now, if there's opportunity, they'll have a reason not to put their lives on the line, put their freedom on the line, and they'll probably be able to make a decent living and contribute to the society in a meaningful manner. Now, I think the politicians also have to try to set up a structure for power within these communities outside of the criminal elements that are there. And where there are criminal elements that are recognized as legitimate, they need to try and reform them so that we can do something else rather than exploit the young people. We can give them a voice and we can give them a chance, and maybe we can have no crime.
Well, there are several things that we can do. First of all, well, this sounds kind of idealistic, but we can try to see if we can get a new set of politicians coming in. Younger people with fresh minds who have integrity, can be trusted, and won't be affiliated with any member of the older party, any older members, so they won't be so influenced. What we can also do is avoid giving government contracts to persons who are known to be criminals or thought to be criminals, or who are presently being convicted of crimes. What we can do is also we can set up a policy whereby once found out that a politician is involved in an illegal activity, however, whatever degree if it is, we can have them resign. They should resign from everything, not just from whatever duties that they're undertaking, but resign completely from the party and the government.
In terms of measures that can be put in place, I think the change has to come from the top. Great accountabilities from the actual politicians themselves. And what I really find is that the younger breed of politicians who come in basically are continuations of the same mold. So what you really need is, before, you need a set of responsible leaders to come in first and foremost. What we really need in Jamaica is a shift in political culture, in that everyone that comes in continues to mold. People come in and say this, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But it's really continuation of the same. And so what's really necessary is people that really want to effect change, and people that when they actually reach where they can effect that change, for them not to step back and fall into that preset mode.
I think the system is so corrupt right now, there's no hope for it. It just has to, so rotten, it just has to end. They want to start anew with something different, something completely different. Because it's a system that supports, everything supports itself. You understand? The politicians are always going to be there, they're always going to be involved in crime because that's where the money is. That's how they can get votes. And the dons, or the area leaders, the criminals, they're always going to want political links to ensure that they can stay out of prison, they can get away with whatever they're doing, they can get contracts, they can have whatever sort of business they want to have.
I think we just need a fresh start. I mean, we just need to start over, clean out Parliament, as bad as it sounds, because you have both good and bad in there. I think we just need a fresh start, fresh minds, younger people who are very passionate about the direction of Jamaica and the direction that Jamaica is heading in. Separating crime from politics. Now, that's a tricky one, because we have all these politicians who are supposed to be on the straight and narrow, yet a lot of negative things are still happening, and it's clear that these guys that are the directors or the heads of Parliament, if they're not involved in it, they indirectly are, because they know about it and turn a blind eye. So I think we need to stamp out all of that, possibly get a third party involved, somebody that can monitor the Parliament effectively and move forward from there.
Well, I think the best way to improve from crime and violence is put all the schools turn them into a military school, have them in all different categories, every league, you know what I mean? And from them being so diligent and loyal to their country, they'll protect it, you know what I mean? You have robbers, you have thieves, you have people that don't go to school, stuff like that. If you put them all through school, then they'll be more successful. They don't have to go out there and steal, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. The politicians now, all they talk about is politics. What about the school children? They don't understand this politics thing, and the politician going around backing off the gunman them or supporting them, I mean, that's wrong. So we need to look into what they're doing. Did they go to school? you know, what position did they be in school? You know, what position do they play as a government? They need to run it the right way, you know. They so far only people that's working and in the buildings are the ones that are successful graduates, the one that go through school. Everybody else that has children, they don't send all of them through school. Some can't even afford it, you know, but they just gotta figure out a way, you know.
I don't think I can separate crime from politics, because crime comes from politics. Them have to come cleaner and better. I mean, them have the examples out there, good and bad, so them can look on the mistakes and see where them can do it better. Whatever them can do to make the country better.
There's one thing that I think is very important that they should focus on is political financing, because there are lots of people that are giving money to these parties and to these politicians, and you don't necessarily know who is giving the money, and you don't know who this person is, what they do, what their aims are, and also you don't know whether the politicians are loyal to these people who are giving them the money, and that's a big issue.